Hello, all of you beautiful people. I'm Tim Sama!
And I'm Brad McNamara.
And welcome back to Corpse Party. Last episode, Yuki Kano, the ghost with one eye, rescued Yoshiki and Ayumi from the closed spaces of Heavenly Host Elementary, and has decided she's going to show Ayumi
Everything that's happened.
everything that's happened so she can get a better understanding.
Strap in for some horror.
This is probably going to be the worst episode. Well, we can discuss whether it's worse than the Chapter 2 wrong ending or not. Because that's probably the worst we've done so far.
Until this, let's have a look. Arg. Huh? What happened to me? Didn't I pass out? So why am I fully aware right now? I can't see a thing, and I can't move. It's like the feeling when you're really tired. Sleep paralysis, I think. Oh. Where? Why can't I move?
What's interesting here is you can see the sprites. They updated some of the sprites for 3DS, and those children that were next to her, you can see their sprites haven't been updated from the old sort of version.
Yeah.
They're all pixelated.
Wait. Sachiko Shinozaki, the little girl in the red dress and the only survivor of the horrific murders that occurred in Heavenly Host Elementary School. Following the incident, Sachiko's family fled from the area, moving to another prefecture to escape the frightful memories that remained here. Strangely, however, I've been unable to locate any other records of the Shinozaki family. No matter where I look, the only information I can find about them comes from newspaper reports on the Heavenly Host murders. Granted, when an elementary school becomes the stage for a grisly incident such as this, perpetrated by none other than the principal's own son, it stands to reason that the scandal would serve as the primary focus for public interest, with all the other details fading into the background. So of course, after learning that Sachiko was safe, further news about her whereabouts was largely ignored in favor of the media circus surrounding the school. But there's more to it than that. People weren't just uninterested in learning of Sachiko's history or whereabouts. There was simply no data to be had. I'm guessing it's Ayumi's voice.
Yeah.
I can't move my body because of sleep paralysis, I guess. But I can clearly see the room I'm in now. There's one boy, two girls in here aside from myself. I recognize them. They're the children who were killed in Heavenly Host during that incident, but they're still alive. Unfortunately, they're all bound hand and foot, and just sprawled out on the floor, and so am I. That's the real reason I can't move. Weep, weep, wah, wah.
It's really hard to tell if the boy
Somebody please save me. No, stop. No, please, no!
I.
No, I can't see. Now I'm blindfolded. I can't see a thing that's happening to me. And since my hands and feet are tied up, I can't remove the blindfold either. That just makes everything so much worse. I guess because I can't see, I begin to listen more intently. various frightened sobbings. The helpless cries of the other children echo off the walls of the crammed room. I'm so scared. It feels like my head is going to explode. What are you doing to me? Why am I blindfolded? Untie me. Cut the ropes. I want to be able to use my hands and feet. Please. Please. I kept begging and pleading, but all I heard in response was the man walking away from me.
You in order, okay?
In order?
Is that the sound of someone dying?
Yeah.
Curse fit signs.
I wasn't cursing, that was just someone getting stabbed. I've never heard screaming like this before. It's pure primal terror, cutting through the air like a perfect sine wave. It's the boy at the end. Feels like he's been screaming for an eternity. I think he's being killed right now.
But it sounds squishy.
My god, what the hell is he doing to him? No one deserves this. Why isn't God allowing him to fall unconscious so he doesn't have to suffer?
I think we know why.
No God. Gross.
That kid just got a wrong ending.
It's been at least half an hour now. Those inhuman screams of a young boy being ripped apart from the inside have finally come to a halt.
Half an hour, fuck.
Without even a single moment of silence, the first of the girls in line is the next to scream for her life, and the symphony goes on.
Are you holding up alright?
Not enjoying this. God, I can't take any more of this. Me too. I'm losing my mind. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it! Is it still going on? Come on, just die already. Die already? God, what is wrong with me? You know what? I don't care. Just get it over with. Leave me in peace.
Oh yeah, because that's gonna happen.
Finally, after hearing a sound like a heavy object being dropped, the noises stopped. The room grew quiet again. Thump, thump, thump. Footsteps, I assume. Those footsteps are getting closer. All my hair is standing on end at this point. Everything below my stomach feels like it's frozen. Like I've suddenly been stricken with severe diarrhea. In order. God, why am I relieved by the silence? The kid next to me just died. Which means it's my turn now. Ah! Someone's got me by the hair. They're pulling my head up. And taking off my blindfold, which means I get to see the face of my killer. The 4 missing children were found in a basement room at Heavenly Host Elementary School, unused and officially sealed since the building's construction. When authorities entered, they were greeted with an inhumanly horrific sight. Based on the evidence at hand, the murder weapon was determined to be a pair of large sewing scissors found in the hands of the accused. Investigators suspected some hesitation on the man's part. However, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used. On the man's part, however, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used. Nonetheless, he had clearly acted with extreme malicious intent. The official cause of death for the 3 murdered children is being listed as loss of blood following removal of tongue. But the actual state of affairs was not quite so clinical, nor even so pleasant if you can believe it. The following details have been extrapolated from information previously unreleased to the public, or at least previously unreported by news outlets. These details of the crime are based on the official police testimony of Sachiko Shinozaki herself. Evidently, the victims were bound, blindfolded, and spaced out on the floor. They were killed one by one. One was repeatedly stabbed in the abdomen with the aforementioned pair of scissors, then had many of his internal organs forcefully dug out. His discarded innards were found partially buried beneath the earthen floor of the basement room. Another was stabbed in the head dozens upon dozens of times, to such an extent that all flesh and bone above her jawline was essentially minced away.
Well, that was that sound. Got your lips twitching, holy fuck.
With my blindfold removed, the sight that appeared before me was more horrific than anything I could possibly have imagined. Please don't shout, please don't shout, please don't shout, please don't shout. The person staring back at me, brandishing a blood-soaked pair of sewing scissors, wasn't the large man from earlier at all. It was one of the children.
Plot twist!
It's not that big of a plot twist. I had assumed it was her possessing him, but I guess it's just she did it. It was a little girl. Her face dyed red with the blood of her victims. She was staring intently at me with soulless grey eyes, and then she just started giggling. Snip, snip, snip. Oh, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Do you really need to cover that?
She was opening and closing the bloodied scissors over and over again, and the sound kept echoing through the room. Then she took those dull, rusty, thoroughly blood-soaked blades, and slowly brought them closer and closer to my left eye. How? Why? Why is it you? No! No! No!
And there it is. I'm guessing you're not going to emulate that scream.
The third victim was stabbed in the left eye an indeterminate number of times, until her eyeball became soup-like in consistency. She was eventually just left like that, slowly bleeding to death in horrible agony. Strangely, it was only after these mutilations had already been inflicted that the killer went back and severed the victims' tongues. Learning the truth about these proceedings is shocking even to me, and makes it nearly impossible to accept the murderer as anything but a monster. And bearing witness to every moment of this was a 7-year-old girl named Sachiko. In many ways, she's the most pitiable and long-suffering of them all. But it was through her tearful, frightened testimony that Yoshikazu Yanagihori was officially charged. Now, going back to hunt for information on this unfortunate girl's whereabouts, it was her words that ultimately led to Yoshikazu's sentencing. Therefore, it comes as no real surprise that sensitive information pertaining to her and her family would be withheld. That's to be expected. What's not expected, however, is that there's not even the slightest trace of this information left to find. It's as if it simply never existed. Therefore, I cannot help but consider alternate possible explanations. And I remind you, this is mere conjecture. But one question keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Was Yoshikazu Yanagihori really the murderer of the three victims? Is it possible this crime was not actually perpetrated by him at all? Think about it. In his final days, Yoshikazu was incapable of communicating with others through speech. And despite his childlike reversion, he'd always been a personable and friendly man. As the saying goes, he wouldn't have hurt a fly. All his relatives, friends, and neighbors confirmed as much, shocked to hear that such a kindly man could commit these unconscionable atrocities. He certainly had no motive for the crime either. There was nothing for him to gain from it. Then again, he may simply have lost his mind. Look at his father. It was around this same time that Principal Takamine Yanagihori suddenly began speaking in tongues and acting in a most peculiar way. Not to mention scribbling incomprehensible gibberish all over his walls as if possessed. He seemed frightened of someone and would often be found crouching in the corner of his office moaning and thrashing when visitors came by. If he could wind up in such a beleaguered state with no warning, then perhaps so too could his son. I believe that we are looking at a curse far more powerful than anything a man could devise. From the time it opened its doors to the day it closed them forever, Heavenly Host Elementary School's sealed basement room has existed as some form of cursed ground. And to find the underlying cause, we must go back beyond the infamous kidnapping and murder incident. Back a whole 20 years. I believe I may have found a clue that could shed some light on the situation. Maybe a bit far-fetched as leads go, but it's a lead nonetheless. Regrettably, since Heavenly Host was not only closed down but demolished altogether, and another school built in its place, it's no longer possible to investigate the basement room directly. But my protege has found what may be the next best thing. Something that could make the impossible possible once more. Preparations are being made to pursue this lead even now. Be sure not to miss the next installment. It may be the scoop of a lifetime. It ended on a cool musical note.
Oh, it usually does, yeah. So, that was Chapter 4. We now know who the killer is, and it's not the big dude with the hammer.
Yeah,
this is why. That's why the children are not appeased, because
he's sorry because he didn't want it to happen to them. He couldn't stop it.
He's sorry because he kidnapped them.
Yeah.
He's sorry because it's just nothing the cunt could have done. Snip, 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 snip. Snip. Got it. Snip! Alright, anyway, we will. That's fucked up. And yeah, it's that's that, and
no gameplay this entire episode, really. Just just terror.
That's what's gonna be like when we play Shadow. That's okay. That's a visual novel. Anyway, yes. So like, subscribe, especially if you like stabbing children in the eye and cutting their top part.
Actually, if you do like doing that, don't subscribe and just stay away. I don't want anything to do with it.
Revenue.
I'm pretty sure I can suffer losing 1 cent every 2 years or so.
Yes, good point.
Don't stab children. It's not cool. Fucking. What is our outros?
Bye.
Toodles.